Well, coming back from vacation or the start of a new month or the start of a new school year, all of those kinds of times are a great time to reassess your horizons of focus too, as they are known in David Allen's world of getting things done, or GTD for short. So stay with me today as we look at our areas of focus and accountability. Well, hi everyone, I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the areas of focus and accountability in David Allen's process of GTD, or getting things done. Many of you know that I am a GTDer. I have been using this process for a number of years, and I find it very helpful. And every now and then, it is a good idea to sit down and take a look at those higher horizons. Now, we have talked a lot on this channel about what David Allen calls the ground level stuff, those daily tasks, those things that you have to do, the buying of cat food and the watering of the plants and the doing the laundry and all of those things that it takes to keep your house, your life, your business, all of those things running smoothly. Those are the ground level things. Horizon 1 is your projects. Those are things that take more than 2 actions to complete. So, for example, a project that I just completed was making the quilt for my nephew. Another project that I just completed was getting my daughter moved back home after she graduated from graduate school. So, as these projects are finished, sometimes things change. So, now we're up to Horizon 2, and those are the areas of focus and responsibility. Let me show you a little bit what I'm talking about. Let's jump into the computer, and I will show you my notes on GTD Horizons. Okay, here we go. This is from the official Getting Things Done, or GTD for short, website from David Allen. And you can see here that he talks about the horizons of focus. He starts with the very, very highest principles, which are Horizon 5, which means, like, what's your purpose on life? I feel my purpose on life is to help teach people new information. So that's kind of been what I have been about for the last 40 years is I'm a teacher, always will be a teacher. That's my purpose in life. What are some principles that I have? Well, I'm very, a strong believer in telling the truth and being responsible and taking care of yourself and getting things done. So those are some of my guiding values that, have led me through parts of my life. So this purpose and principles here is a very, very high level. Next, you have your vision, which you can see here really looks at what it would look like long term to be successful in those areas. Maybe you're thinking, 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, maybe even 3 years down the road. What is that vision, that next big, big goal that you have for yourself? Maybe you want to quit your job and start your own business. Maybe you want to retire. Maybe you want to relocate. Maybe you're looking forward to being a grandparent. Who knows? Who knows? But that's kind of where that Horizon 4 comes in. Then Horizon 3 is goals and objectives. And those are those longer term, but a year to 2 year maybe kinds of goals that you want to look at. Okay, and then that brings us to Horizon 2, which you see right here, which are the areas of focus and accountability. So those areas of focus and accountability, those are the things that you are accountable for. Perhaps it's your job description and you have certain duties that you're required to do on your job. Maybe it is your role as a parent or a teacher or a mentor, or even your roles as friends, with other people. Maybe you do volunteer work somewhere. Anything that you are accountable for If you own a home, maybe maintaining that home. All of us have finances that we need to maintain. So all of those kinds of things really go into Horizon 2, okay? Then we get back to what I was talking about with Horizon 1, being the projects, the bigger, projects that require more than 2 action steps. And then we have those ground action calendar items that, they just kind of need to get done, like washing the dishes and, driving to work and those kinds of things. So let's take a look at the areas of focus and accountability. One of the ways that I like to keep track of those areas of focus and accountability for myself is I like to use the life compass in the Makselife planner. And if you saw my video in the beginning of January where I set up my goals for the year, on this very messy working page, which is okay for me because I'm more about functional than I am about pretty, and I want to be able to look at this page and know exactly, what my goals are and where my focus should be. So, if you saw the goal setting video that I did back in January, if not, I will link it above. We looked at the Makselife Life Compass, and I just took a quick snapshot here, and let's zoom in a little bit so you can see that. And what you see here is they have, the Makselife Compass assessment has a number of goals for fun and recreation, work and learning, family and relationships, health and wellness, spiritual growth, financial, physical environment, and personal. Okay, so all of that are those same kinds of areas of responsibility that GTD talks about. Now, David Allen is very flexible in not naming those for everybody because he feels that his system should be very flexible and that maybe you're not a parent, so you shouldn't have that on your list. Maybe you don't have a job description because you don't work, so that shouldn't be on your list. Maybe you're not someone who is spiritual, so that doesn't need to be on your list. He really leaves those areas of focus up to you because you are the one that's in control of your own life. Okay, I happen to use the Makselife Compass because I kind of align with those things. I know that other people add other categories, and you'll see when I get to my goals, I take these 8 life compass things and blow them out a little bit more, and I end up with like 12 different categories. So maybe it's my dirty dozen, I don't know. Anyway, one thing that you should do periodically is take a look at these various areas and reassess what your life is like in these areas. So for example, like I was saying earlier, maybe you've had a change in your job and you've gotten new responsibilities, or other responsibilities have been taken away from you, so you no longer have as much work to do. Maybe you are in a different place in your relationship. Maybe you have just recently separated or gotten a divorce. Maybe you have a child who is returning home. Maybe you have a child who's starting school for the first time, and that's going to change your responsibilities at home. Maybe you're signing up to do some volunteer work somewhere. All of those things need to be taken into account. For me, the things that maintain a standard is, keeping track of your finances, keeping track of your health and wellness. Even though you may have other health issues that come and go, you still need to kind of, eat well and exercise and drink plenty of water and all of those things. So what I wanted to do now is I was getting ready to look at my goals, and I will jump over here and show you this brainstorming of all of the goals that I wanted to kind of work on for 2022. This is something that I set up back in January. And you see I've kind of ticked off things that have already occurred. And you see that there's a big area here that has not happened. There's no markings on it at all because I am in procrastination mode about cleaning out my basement. And I really need to get my butt in gear and get it done. But that said, I have been working on lots and lots of other things. So let's go down and I'll show you how I took those ideas and I put them into kind of a spreadsheet for this year. I added a table here at the bottom of my OneNote page, and my areas of focus are listed here in this section. So you'll see the big letters that represent my areas of focus. So remember, David Allen doesn't give you a set number of areas of focus. I happen to have 12. Here they are. Health and wellness, which means nurturing my body, my finances, my personal growth, which means improving my mind. I am an avid reader and try to learn new things all of the time. For my relationships, I break that down into 3 different groups. So I want to focus on my spouse, my family, and my friends. You could combine all of those into relationships if you wanted to. Then I have my home and work, or my physical environment that I am in. My husband currently works from home, so for him it actually is a work environment. And then I have my recreation, which is kind of related to health, but not necessarily. That's really doing physical things with other people, not just exercising for myself, but being social and interacting with other people. And then I also want to stimulate my creativity. So I have a area of focus for creativity. I am also an avid gardener, so I have an area of focus for gardening. And since I have started this YouTube channel, that is now an area of focus. I do spend lots of time and energy on these videos, my Instagram and my Facebook page, just because I wanted to have an opportunity to continue teaching people. Now I'm teaching people about OneNote and organizing their lives, and I absolutely love it. Anyway, my last category here is my spiritual life. And so you see, those are my areas of focus. Now, what I'm going to be doing on the middle part of this spreadsheet, so I'll scooch over so you can see that a little bit better. There you go. What I have done here is I started with each month. So you see here January, February, and then I've listed out the 4 weeks for each of those months. Okay. And you see the goals that I have been focusing on. I've been trying to plan them out. I want to work on, creating my Instagram account in February. So I'm kind of new to learning how to use Instagram. And then let's see, I did some painting in the month of March. And in April, I saw some friends, and I did lots of traveling and did some travel tips and did a lot of gardening and that kind of thing. As we get on down to June, I had a lot of work to do at the church because we got a new pastor. And so that required me to finish out some things with the old pastor and help the new pastor get in and established. And then mostly for the month of July, my focus has been on my daughter, getting her apartment wrapped up and getting her moved back into the house here. So now I am down to August, and I am ready to start planning my weeks in August and figuring out what my goals should be. But the first thing that I need to do is go back and look at those areas of my life. So when I did this in January, I used this life compass here, and I recorded all of my scores. So what I need to do before I move any farther with my goals is I need to go back to this life compass, and I will show you that whole thing here. Makselife on their website has a place for you to download the compass assessment if you would like, and you can print it out or you can do it digitally like I did here in OneNote, and it goes through and explains to you everything about the life compass and what you need to do to fill it out. Okay, so this is the one that I did in January, so I'm going to do this again, and then that will help me refocus what I need to do for the upcoming remainder of the year. So we have August, September, October, November, December. We have 5 months left in this year. Okay, the way that you get these various scores is Makselife goes through and asks you some questions about each individual area. So again, you can see here, let me zoom in a little bit for you. For the personal aspect, my basic needs are taken care of. I scored myself a 10 because, I am lucky to have a home and clothing and food and all of those kinds of things. I generally feel happy and fulfilled. So you see, they go through and they ask you all of these kinds of questions. You give yourself a score, and then you divide that score by 8, and that gives you the personal score that you would have, okay? Then you can set a goal to raise that over the next few months, okay? So I'm going to do that, but I just really wanted to come on today and talk to you about that GTD process of looking at not only your ground level things that you have to take care of every day just to get, stuff done, food on the table, clean clothes, all that kind of thing. Take a look at your projects. Then move up to those areas of interest or areas of focus or areas of accountability that you have. And, like I said, as seasons change, as fall comes on, school years start, maybe you're starting a new job, all of those things. It's a good time to refocus and to realign your life. And I tell you what, GTD has been really a lifesaver for me in getting those things organized and done in a way that keeps my head clear so that I can take on new challenges and do new things and be available if some crisis comes up, because we all know in life that there are times when things don't go the way that we have them planned. And if you have a clear head using the GTD method and those interruptions or those crisis moments occur, you know that pretty much things are taken care of. You have checklist and to-do list and things like that that will keep you going and allow your brain the problem-solving space that it needs to help deal with those crises. No matter what system you use, whether you use 6 different categories or 12 different categories like I do, taking a look at those categories is very helpful. Tracking those things in OneNote is extremely helpful as well. All right, so I'm going to go and do my assessment, and next week's video will all be about the goal reset that I'm doing for the month of August to take me through the rest of the year. So I'm just trying to explain the process to you. I want to make sure that you understand those horizons of focus, because sometimes that's the part that gets a little iffy for people. They understand some of the capturing and gathering of materials and putting those things on lists. But, sometimes as you move higher up in the focus realm, it becomes a little bit foggier. But this is an analogy that I heard David Allen say that I think is very great. He said that, being down on the ground level is like, think about it if you're fighting a forest fire. We're having these wildfires in the United States right now. And think about it as you're the fireman on the ground fighting the forest fire. All you can see are the flames that are around you. So if you're kind of stuck at that level, all you see is the list of things, the calls to make, the cat food to buy, the car tires to rotate, all of that kind of stuff. You only see that clutter around you. What you need to do from time to time is you need to go to the fire tower, if you're in that fire, and you need to climb up to the highest level, all the way up to that Horizon 5, to take a look at what your values and your principles are, what your purpose in life is, what are your roles and responsibilities, what are your areas of focus and accountability. Because when you're up high and you're above where the fire is, you get a clearer view of what needs to be done. You can see the areas where fire breaks can go in. You can see how much of the fire is being battled. So I just think that's a great analogy, to really, sometimes you have to rise above, you have to get above and look around and see what's going on, because sometimes you're too caught up in the day-to-day to understand what's happening. So anyway, I hope that you are finding a new time to reset. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday morning, a beginning of the week, day after your birthday, or day after your anniversary, or any day that you choose. It doesn't matter, but just remember that it's always a good idea to take a look at your life, to reassess your life, figure out what needs to be done, what your areas of focus are, and move forward from there. Okay, well, until next time, and next week, remember, will be me sharing my results and my goals. I will see you in the next video, and here's hoping that you can live a more organized and simplified life through better planning. Okay, until next time, bye.